Um, so last week you had your introduction to moles. And the problem with it is it's not easy. Moles is definitely not easy at all. And it's one of those things that you've got to do a number of times. You cannot do it once and think, all right, okay, yeah, fine, I get it. Or, oh my God, it's too hard. The common thing is, the really common thing, and you're all year seven, and I say it a lot to year 10s, 11s, and 13s, especially when you get close to exams. There's a problem with science and maths. And the problem is, most adults will turn around and tell you, oh my God, it's really hard. The problem with that is, and I'm not talking about students, I'm talking about adults. The majority of adults will try something once, go, oh my God, it's hard, and walk off. Um, and the 5% who try something become very good at things. And it's not just about academics, it's not. It's about sport as well. Sport was something I did a lot when I was younger. My friends are, world champions and things like that. And I know it. People tend to give in on things that are difficult. And one aspect of the teaching that I'm doing with you is to understand this and realize that if I keep trying, it gets easier. So what we're doing today is this is lesson 2 of molds. I'm going to go through it again. And the really important thing to think about this is I do not care if you're right and wrong. Right? I don't. And this sounds very strange, especially coming from primary schools. Some of you, like my children, may have never been in a primary school. My kids never went to a primary school. But if you have, there's this idea that working fast means that you're good at something. It isn't. It's meaningless. Yeah, you can maybe times numbers together quickly, do column addition quickly, which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But real science and calculations come from having a deeper understanding of the problem. And that takes time, as in you slowly develop a skill. And I don't mean years, I mean minutes. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete a lot of things here and talk you through it. So, this is what we did last week. We are doing it again. All right. Um, I'm getting rid of all this. All right. So, always have symbols. This is the math side of me. Algebra is there to teach us, or for us to explain the world in a very simple way. What I mean by that is mass. So I weigh things out. So if you're doing chemistry, you're going to weigh things out. You're going to weigh copper sulfate out, crystals or whatever. You're going to weigh things out. So M for me is mass, me weighing things out. And the mass is always in grams. Okay, so you use a weighing scale, you measure it in grams. So you relate to things to do. You weigh things out in chemistry, you weigh ingredients out almost as if you're cooking. And you always do it in grams. Every element has a atomic mass. And I want to compare that. So comparison here is division, it's dividing. But I'm talking about two things. I'm talking about the mass in grams and your relative formula mass. And I can't bother writing all these words out. So what I write is my mass is M. My number of moles I'm trying to calculate is N. My relative formula mass is MR. Okay, so I don't have to write them all out. So, well, how do I do it? To calculate N, my number of moles, I take my mass in grams and divide it by my relative formula mass. That's it. And that will give me the number of moles. So, all these are in grams until you come to here to tons, but I'm going to change that for you. That's 102 million grams, but the numbers doesn't make any difference. I'm doing that for you, so you don't have to do it yourself. 2 kilograms is 2,000 grams, and this is 0.0206 grams. So I've done that for you, so you don't have to really think about it. So coming back to what you got to do is you've got to take your mass in grams and divide it by your relative formula mass. And as per usual, I will go through an example. I'll give an example. How many moles in 36 grams of water? Always, step one, write out your formula. So I'm going to put a little here. Write out your formula. Now, I don't mind if it's in letters or words. I prefer letters because it's less writing. Number of moles equals my mass in grams divided by my relative formula mass. Always have your periodic table. All right. So it starts really easy where I go, okay, now, second step. Substitute what? Substitute your mass. All right. We already have our mass. So what I do is I take, oh dear, I take my pen, all right, N equals, substitute means change. I know my mass. I'm giving it to me in the question as 36 grams. 36 over the relative molecular mass of water. But I don't know what that is. Well, what is H2O? You don't have to right now remember this. It's all given to you in here. The formula of everything is given to you here. Oh, but how do I work out my relative formula mass? And we've done this. Right, an example. I am going to record this. Here we go. YRFM isn't just a fancy maths, but that's it. So if you can't remember how to work out relative formula mass or MR, this is the intro that we did for it. All right, so 36 divided by the MR of water. Water is H2O. Well, what does that mean? It means I have two hydrogens, 2 times hydrogens, plus an oxygen. Hydrogen is here. It's 1. That'll be 2 times. Let's substitute. 2 times 1 is 2, plus oxygen. And look at the periodic table, 16. That's from last week, 16. Always BODMAS, do your times in first. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 16. That gives me 18 grams. So all we do is N equals, now we know the MR, 18. 36 divided by MR, which is 18. There it is. Draw an arrow from there. 36 divided by 8 is 2. 36 divided by 18 is 2. So the number of moles is 2. And that's it. Take your time. Okay? Lay it out properly. That's really important. The majority of students do not lay their work out properly and they struggle.